Hey, thanks for joining me. So, the first knife from Spyderco that really got me interested in their knives was a Spyderco Ambitious. Kind of a small, one of their less expensive folding knives. And I found this at a local gun store and bought it. It was on sale. And it really got me hooked on Spyderco for a number of reasons. And to the extent that eventually I purchased a Delica 4, which I still use and carry, and really love the Spyderco Delica 4. And so I gifted that Ambitious, the Spyderco Ambitious, to one of my sons. He used it for quite a while, and unfortunately he lost it, and which can happen. And so I bought him another one, and before I give it to him, I'm going to kind of show you guys this knife and talk about why this knife got me hooked on Spyderco. So we're going to put it on the bench, take a look at it, and then we'll join up afterwards and see what you think. So this is the Spyderco Ambitious, probably named Ambitious because of its diminutive size. Get unpacked here, comes with a neat little Spyderco sticker. So this is the knife that got me hooked on Spyderco knives. And when I first looked at the Ambitious, the thing that really caught my attention was the weight of these liners. So one of the things I noticed right away was the thickness of the liners. They're just really beefy. The knife is not lightly built. These are not made of just thin sheet metal. It is an open frame design, so the good thing about that is dirt and lint and stuff doesn't get caught inside, and if it does, it's easy to clean it or blow it out. The pocket clip is fully ambidextrous, so you notice it's attached here. You can reverse it and put it on the other end, or you can put it on the other side, either end. And so the pocket clip is you can just configure it any way you like. Here's a liner lock, good heavy, because the liners are heavy material. The liner lock is also heavy, and it engages well. It's not going to just pop loose and close accidentally on you. And the knife has a bit of a detent right when the blade closes. You can see it kind of sucks the blade in right there at the end. Right there, it snaps in. And what's happening, if you look at the liner lock, right here where the liner lock is, right at the tip of my thumb, you'll see right when it closes that liner lock snaps in just a little bit. And so what's happening is there's obviously a notch in the blade and a protrusion on the liner lock that engages, which is really nice. So it doesn't, it's not going to just accidentally open in your pocket. There's a little bit of resistance right when you open it. So one of the other things that really caught me about Spyderco, and this is probably what really got me hooked on Spyderco, is the shape of the blade. Now, the first thing is this big hole, and when I first looked at these, I thought, that's kind of goofy looking. But then when I used it, it was so easy to open. And, I mean, it just really was easy to use. It made sense. As opposed to a thumb stud, which to me is not as easy to use. So that really caught my attention. The other thing was just the overall shape of the blade. And one of the things my father used to tell me when we would build or design things is that form follows function, right? And so when you look at Spyderco knives, clearly the blades are designed to be functional. You've got some really nice jimping on the back of the blade here, and works great with your thumb there. And I thought this is kind of a funny shaped blade, but as I've used it, it has turned out to be eminently useful and just a really well designed shape. So it's full flat grind, and Spyderco knives come very sharp. That's typical for them. The whole knife is just designed to be very functional. The shape of the scales and the grip and the way it's meant to be used, the whole design is just really nice. You notice I've even got some jimping on the liner lock, which not only helps with disengaging it, but also when you're gripping the knife this way, that jimping also helps in establishing a grip. So everything about the knife is just really well thought out. I really got hooked on Spyderco knives because of this. And to that end, I ended up buying a Delica 4, and I just wanted something a little more higher end, and the Delica 4 has been a great knife. And I've talked about that in another video, but the Delica 4 is a great knife. Anyway, so this Ambitious really got me hooked on what Spyderco had to offer, even on a budget knife. Now, when I originally bought the first one, I think it was around $35. This one, due to inflation now, is just right at $50. But still, for a good everyday carry knife, $50 is a pretty decent price. Now, this uses 8 CR13 MOV steel. See if I can get the camera to focus on that. And some would say, well, that's not a very great steel, and, you know, I wouldn't buy that. Well, let me say this. You know, I think Buck proved with their use of 428C that there's a lot you can do with knife steel that maybe goes beyond what one would think in terms of carbon content or chromium content or whatever. Buck has, through some very proprietary heat treating, been able to get performance out of 428C that no one really would have expected. Now, I don't know how Spyderco heat treats their blades or what they're doing with this steel, but I can say from experience that this knife holds an edge very well. It's easy to sharpen. I did not find it lacking in any way in terms of being able to you know, use it from day to day and keep a good edge, and it's just been a pleasure to use. So, like I say, I gifted the last one to my son. I'm going to give this one to him also, and I think he'll really enjoy it. So, if you're looking for an EDC knife, you don't really want to break the bank doing it. If you haven't ever tried a Spyderco knife, I would have to say you definitely want to give one of these a look. I really enjoyed using it. It is the knife that got me hooked on Spyderco. Anyway, so that's the Ambitious. And if you're looking for a good EDC knife, it might be one to take a look at. So that's the Spyderco Ambitious. Really great little knife. A lot of really neat features at a very affordable price. Like I say, this is the knife that got me hooked on Spyderco. Just a really great knife for a great price. So if you're looking at kind of a budget EDC knife, I can highly recommend these. They do a great job, and this is the knife that really kind of got me hooked on Spyderco knives. So appreciate you watching the video. If you would, please click on the like and subscribe button. That'll help the channel. If you have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to leave me a comment. And as always, thanks for watching.